Hey YouTube, it's Cutt here and we're bringing you another one. Okay, so this week was a busy week because I saw 3 movies in 2 days. So I had to I had to figure it all out, and my time, okay? First of all, happy Father's Day for all the fathers out there. Lean this way. I'm not a father. Don't you love when you're not a father and someone says happy Father's Day and you're just like, thank you? Anyway, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. This video isn't really connected to dads in any way. But happy Father's Day. Oh wait, no, Father's Day is today. Okay, I'm confused. Okay, yes, happy Father's Day. All right, yes, I saw. There we go. Elementals. We're going to get into the whole situation, the whole breakdown and everything. Very good movie. We're about to go through the whole situation. It was definitely a movie that I recommend to you guys. Okay. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me for a long time, like, where the tutorials at? Like, I'm trying to get tutorials. I'm trying to learn how to draw like you. I'm trying to learn these programs, and don't worry, I've been recording them. I've been preparing them, so they are coming very soon. But if you want early access, I want you going ahead and join my Patreon. Yes, I have cards. Go ahead and join my Patreon. Any one of these tiers will get you the early access, even though it says all access Patreon in the middle, but the early access is available to everyone. However, you get the second tier. Not only do you get the tutorials early, but you'll also get free wallpapers monthly. Okay, so you'll get wallpapers for your desktop, for your computer, for your phone. Now, if you go VIP, not only do you get all that stuff, but you also get monthly free digital packs, rather it be a vector, rather it be brushes, custom brushes I made, rather it be 3D models. We got a lot of good stuff coming your way. Okay, so let's do this. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, push that notification button, because we're going to keep bringing this stuff to you. So, Elementals, what is my rating? So I'm doing ratings now. Out of 10 stars, I know you do 5 stars, but we like 10. Out of 10 stars, I'm going to give it an 8.5. Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.5. It's very much up there. It's a really good movie. If I was to put it in the rankings of all Pixar movies, it's somewhere in the middle. It's not the worst at all whatsoever, but it's not the Incredibles, the Finding Nemos, the Monster Incs. It's not up there, but it's not like Cars. You know what I mean? Which is trash. So I think it's a good middle. It's a high middle. If I put it, I need to do a ranking of my least favorite to most favorite Pixar films. But I think Elementals fall somewhere in the middle. Talking about the vibes. Let's talk about the vibes. So the vibes is giving Inside Out meets Zootopia. Zootopia more so for like the city and the way the style looks a little bit. But I really feel like this is a movie of its own, because we haven't really seen a movie that focuses on elements in this way. We've seen a lot of element movies. Fifth Element is one of my favorite movies of all time, but seeing it in this way where the characters are the elements, I don't think we've really seen anything like that. So there's some uniqueness to this movie. So it's not to compare it to this, but these are the vibes that I was feeling. Should you see this in theaters? I think, you know what? This is not really a kid movie. I was about to say, if you have kids, you could take them. Not saying you can't take it. It's kid friendly, like a kid can watch it, of course. But I think it's a little bit more intellectual, a little bit too much thinking involved for little kids to really, really enjoy. The bright colors might get the little kids, but I think this is more of a young adult teenager adult movie, in a sense that the conversations that they're having are a little bit more deeper. So maybe you might not care to take the kids to the movie theater, although I do think once this is streaming, it's going to be very popular. Personally, I don't think I would have went to the theater to see this, and if I did, it would have been like a month after, and I just had a little bit of time and like, oh, this is still out? Let me go see Elementals. I think that would have been the case, for sure. Okay, so I was a little shocked about the director. From what I'm seeing, this is his first time ever directing a movie. And this is, okay, now you know how I am with names. Oh, this is easy. Peter John. Oh, no, it's not John. I don't think it's John. Did I copy that right? Okay, I'm going to say Peter John. but I'm sure it was another name. But I've been typing a lot of people's names, so just, ignore me. Anyway, Peter. But he's been in so many movies, and here's some of his characters. So first of all, he was in Ratatouille, and I got these are the pictures of the characters. Ratatouille. He's the cat off of Lightyear, Across the Spider-Verse, and then Monsters University. So now Monsters University was really good. Out of all these characters, I think the cutest one is actually the monster, even though he has like 5 eyes. The cat's very cute, but cats are cute by default. But I think personality-wise, this one's the cutest one. But he voices all these characters, so I guess they were kind of like, well, if you did all these voices, maybe you can direct the movie. And I think he did a fantastic job, so obviously they were right. Ooh, it's burning up in here. I don't got the fan on, but if I turn the fan on, it's gonna be a little loud. But I'm melting. Okay. So we're going to do things a little different because I realize, I'm not good with names. I really don't even like people like that. Like, not that I don't like people, but I don't really be knowing people. Like, I know your face. Like, anytime somebody like that person's name, I'm like, who? Oh, from this movie. Oh, yeah, I know who that is. So I'm like, let me stop doing this to myself. I think the only name I'm really going to focus on are my favorite characters. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a collection of all the characters, but I put a little star. I hope you can see. I got to do this a little bit better. But I put a little star, okay, next to my favorites. And the first one, actually, so it's not in order. My favorite character is Wade. That's the water guy right here. Me and Wade, we the same person because he's just a cry. I mean, I don't cry like he cries that much. Like he cries about literally. If he sees a butterfly, he's gonna cry. I ain't like that now. But we are the same. And I just love his animation, the way he moves. Wade is my favorite. Ember is also a great character. Ember is also me, but on another level. Like, she's very hot-headed, no pun intended. But like literally, like she's working a job and people are just burning her up, literally being silly and making her like just rage. And I'm like, this is why I don't like people. She understands my life. So that's Ember. Okay, wait. So let's try this again. Wade is played by you see his face. Okay, we're just gonna move on. And now this one right here, this character right here with this one, the cloud lady. First of all, her name is Gail. The character's name is Gail Cumulus. And I was like, all these names are so clever. Like, Disney really was so clever with these names. So Glade means wind, or a gust of wind. Or I said Glade. Gale means a gust of wind. And Cumulus means it's clouds, but it's like lumpy clouds. Like they piled up a certain way. And she looks like that. I was like, that's so clever. And then my last favorite right here is Brooke Ripple. These names, I love it. All the characters were great, but those were definitely my favorite characters out of the whole thing. Okay, that was horrible. We're gonna do better next time with the characters. Okay, so the villain. So the villain is basically water. Kinda. So for those who know, I do the villain list. Like, I like to talk about what type of villain is in the movie, because there's a list of villains in films and I like to go over them. There's 15 of them. The supernatural, the henchman, the equal. These are different type of villains in the movie. In this movie, no pun intended, one of the villain is Mother Nature. Not literally like a character, but like the problem is nature. A natural thing is one of the biggest problems. But the other villain, okay, let me go to it here. What did I write down? The authority figure. Okay, so not necessarily her parents, but just so you know, this is a non-spoiler review. Okay, I didn't do the little card, but I'm trying not to spoil here. But society, alongside her parents, are the problem. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of leave it there. Okay. So what is the message? What is the message to this movie? I thought this would be kind of clever. Ride your own wave. Is that not funny? But no. And so basically the overall message is it's not just know thyself, which is part of it. It's not just be yourself, but it's like you gotta. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can pick your path. Nobody can love your love. Nobody can hate your hate. Whether you're right, wrong, or indifferent, that's like a different conversation. You could be 1,000% wrong, but you have to be wrong in your own choices. And you can be 1,000%. I knew I was wrong. I knew I was wrong. So Giant Gain said Peter's song. Is it? Yeah, because I think I must have. You know how you type something and it just autocorrects it? I'm like, I know it wasn't John. Peter John? Like, come on. Okay, Peter's song. That makes a little bit more sense. Okay. The director's name. Okay, back to it. But the point is that you have to make your own decisions for your life, and you can't let the world make those decisions for you. And when you make the wrong decisions, because sometimes you make wrong decisions, it's better that you made those decisions than someone making it for you, because then you'll never be able to really live your life. So that's kind of what the overall message comes down to. Excuse me. Okay. Now we're going on to, now this is not like said, but there's a little bit of a racial component in this movie. There's a little bit about immigration, because I was like, right off the back, I was like, immigration? Like, this is what we're dealing with? So, and I don't want to give it away because I feel like it's a lot of the story, but there's a little bit of a race component here, and just being brought into a world or a city or a country that it's not made for you. So literally fire is kind of a problem, just naturally. So all the other elements don't really jive with fire, but fire is just being what it always is. So there's this balance of like acceptance, but also like, this is the reality of who people are and what people are. It's a very intellectual story that I think you have to like really sit down. I almost want to watch it again and really dissect it one more time, because it's that's why I'm like, kids will like the action of the movie, but they're not going to get the message that I think the movie is trying to give across. Okay. Now, what could be better? This was hard because I love animation, so I just kind of give animations a pass on like a lot of stuff. So this was hard for me to think, but then when I really thought about it, maybe this is for a second movie, but it would have been great to see more of the elements. So the only elements we really see the most of is fire and water, which was great. They are one of the biggest elements on the planet that we typically think of, but it would have been nice to see wind and earth a little bit more, but they were kind of in the background. They were like the secondary side characters. So it would have been nice to see them a little bit more. But other than that, I think it was a phenomenal movie. The animation was beautiful. So let's get on into the cinematography. I don't usually use this word often for animation. Not that there isn't cinematography. It's just that you kind of talk about it in other directions. But I think overall it was beautiful. Especially, in some ways fire was fire. In some ways fire was light. And that was something they really played with. Sometimes fire was just a destructive thing, but sometimes they showed that out of all the elements, fire is the only one that illuminates. So they played on, instead of her looking like fire, she looked like light. That was really, and that changes the mood of the scene and the atmosphere, the placement, the composition. Very beautiful cinematography in this movie for it to be, animation. Okay. And then talk about the animation, the CGI. Well, it's not CGI, but the animation. I have CGI for the movie because when we do live actions. Anyway, the animation is so fun, like so fun. Just like the way the light passes through the water, all the different special effects they got going on, the way the fire is always kind of moving. It's never nothing's ever really straight with them. Like, I love that about the fire. The clouds, the way they puff up, like the way there's a lot of effects in this movie. It's a really good movie when it comes to the animation. Animation is fantastic. Okay. Let's talk about the music, the score. Not really memorable, nothing super. I mean, just the typical, dramatic cinematic music for different moments. Nothing that stands out to the point where you're like, wow, this music is phenomenal. Nothing like that. I think maybe because with animation, you're so drawn in by the world and the people and the characters that music sometimes gets left behind. So maybe I need to watch a little bit more intently with my ears, watch with my ears a little bit stronger, but nothing really stood out to me. Now let's talk about sound design. Now the sound design stood out. This is not the sound design image. Okay, the sound design, which is more like, hearing the winds blow and the way the water hits different things, and the way the fire sounds, and all the because there's so many different elements, there's so many different sounds. So this was like if you want to learn sound design, watch this movie because everything had some type of like sound. It had some type of sound, rather it's the smallest, just a drop, all the way to like the most detailed. Even just looking at this scene, even though this wasn't for this card was not the card for the thing I'm talking about, but even the scene was really dope because she's using her body to do this air balloon situation. But that had all this different sound design. So yeah, if we're talking about sound design, this was a good example of a movie. Okay, let's talk about world design. Wow. Okay, my favorite. My favorite world part, or my favorite location, was Wade's house. So that's his uncle, from what I remember. This was the best picture I could find, but actually it's not a hotel. It's like a high-rise building. And the outside is so cool. Like the building's like a waterfall. It's designed so nice. This movie is so clever. That's what I meant to say in the beginning. It's such a clever movie. I love this like waterfall situation. Anyway, that was really great. Another world design location that was really cool was the fire neighborhood. Also, best picture I could possibly find. But the way they designed everything has this like furnace, oven, stove type look. Everything's metal and stone, like things that can really stand fire. I loved that attribute about the fire town. And one of my other favorite places, this is a horrible example of an image because I couldn't get the outside, but they're in this like, there's like a wind team that plays this like Quidditch looking type of game. And they're in like the stadium looks like a tornado. And you know how I feel about tornadoes because I love the Wizard of Oz. But it's just designed so cool because it's meant for the air people. Well, it's not meant for them, but the game is meant for them. I really loved that quite a bit. Okay, is there an end credit? From what I remember, there's no end credit scene or anything like that. Most of the time, Pixar doesn't really do an end credit scene or anything like that. But there is a animated short of Carl's date, just like the traditional way. Every time a new Pixar movie comes out in the theaters, they put a short in front of it. That's always been the thing since the beginning of time. I never been into Up, so I didn't really care about Carl. It was a cute animation, but I don't know. I didn't really care for it. Like, if I was to give that thing stars, a 3 out of 10. I know that's horrible. Even the animation, the animation was okay, but I don't know. I just wasn't into this short at all whatsoever. I was actually just like, can this thing end? But whatever. If those who like Up might enjoy this, okay? Is there going to be a second movie? I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but I would like for there to be a second movie. And and the reason I picked this green is because I would like for them to introduce electricity. No, electricity is not really an element, but I can feel the direction they could go by introducing electricity, because electricity is like fire, but we use it more frequently now than we used to use fire. I can see that being a whole thing. So I am like, go ahead, make a second movie and bring in electricity and show us more about the wind and earth elements as well. Okay. So what is the conclusion? Overall, very good movie. Animation is 10 out of 10. Story, movie-wise, like I said, 8.5 out of 10. But it's a really good movie. Families who are going to enjoy it. I can see this blowing up on streams and streaming services and all that when it goes digital. It's a very clever movie. It's a little more adult, not adult theme, but just more sophisticated, that I don't think kids will understand the core of the story as deeply as a young adult teenager would. Yes, it's a beautiful love story. It did have me in my tears a little bit. Nothing too crazy, not like crying, you know what I mean? But just, wet eyeballs. And what's this last one? Oh, and yeah, overall, like I said, really good movie. Definitely go ahead and check it out. I think you guys really enjoy it. It's definitely one of those movies that, in the theater is great, but it's one of those you sit on the couch and watch it. You know what I mean? Like more comfortable. It's a more hearty type of movie in that sense. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of my Patreon, click the link down below. You can get early access to all my tutorials, all the videos that's coming out soon. You get the digital packs, you get the the wallpapers, all that good stuff. If you have not already, don't forget to like, subscribe, push that notification button, because we're gonna keep bringing this stuff to you. That's it. What are you doing? I know you're not about to leave. It's mad buttons down there. You ain't pushed on one of them. You better subscribe to my channel. See you soon.